15 minutes almost over. Says user 970-403-5144775.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. You ever go to a rich neighborhood, like a really, really rich neighborhood, like Beverly Hills or Upper East Side of Manhattan or West Palm Beach here in Florida, right? You got super rich people living there. You got older people in general living there because you got to be super wealthy, dripping rich to move into neighborhoods like that. And a lot of these old people, they got a lot of time on their hands, they get plastic surgery. And so even though they're 70, they're trying to look 40 or 30, right? And it comes off as a little pathetic, comes off as like a little cringy and desperate and sad. And you're like, that time in your life's over. You got a chance to be 30. You got a chance to be 40. You got to be done with, like, let it go, right? And you see people like this. It's Kathy Griffin. Like, my God, like, what the hell is wrong with Kathy Griffin's face? Ugh. This is the end stage result of years of Trump derangement. You just end up looking like sad and embittered. And really, it's just hard to watch, frankly. Like, let it go, okay? You're a failed comic. You destroyed your own career. You're the only victim of cancel culture that I totally agree with. And, you made your choices. Hang it up, right? When you see people doing stuff like this, it's really pathetic. It's kind of hard to watch. And it's like, man, it'd probably be best if you just decided to let it go. And that's my message to Dylan Mulvaney. Dylan Mulvaney, the damage has been done. You should hang it up. You should let it go. You don't need headlines like this. Dylan Mulvaney branded unhinged for bizarre late-night TikTok rant 1 year after Bud Light fiasco, insisting that Dylan Mulvaney has projects in the pipeline. 15 minutes of fame is not over. Okay. What do they say in professional PR? If you have to repeat the criticism and scream it from the top of your lungs, then you're losing, right? If you have to say that your 15 minutes of fame is not over and scream it sociopathically from underneath the covers of your bed in your pajamas, then it means it's probably over, actually. TikToker Dylan Mulvaney has posted a late-night rant nearly a year after the Bud Light debacle that has still destroyed the Bud Light brand. Mulvaney, whose tie-up with the beer market last year sparked a costly boycott from conservatives, including yours truly, was reacting angrily to an online critic who declared the 15 minutes of fame is almost over. That sent Dylan into an apoplectic, raging fit that is, well, quite a terrifying look. And there have been quite a number of terrifying looks for Dylan since the Bud Light boycott destroyed, obviously, the Bud Light brand, but also the Dylan Mulvaney brand, actually. And it's very interesting. Like, if you go to Dylan Mulvaney's social media accounts, you'll see at the very tip top, the first thing is not some political message or some inspirational message or anything. It's business inquiries. Right here. Here's your contact for business inquiries. You can see it on all the accounts. It's pretty transparent, actually. What the purpose is here. Attention. Business. Money. But after the Bud Light boycott, Dylan Mulvaney, well, had a bit of a rough one. Dylan Mulvaney wound up in the very midst of the boycott in Peru, saying it's sad that I had to leave my country to feel safe.
Is this an okay time? Okay, surprise! I'm in Peru, and I'm at Machu Picchu. Isn't this just so beautiful? I'm here by myself, and I used to do a ton of solo traveling. I'm telling you, it's the best. If you could ever do a solo trip somewhere, it is such a good way to get to know yourself better. But I came here to feel something, you know what I mean? And I definitely have. I've done shaman ceremonies that were like 10 years worth of therapy. It was wild. I've seen a lot of llamas, And the people here are so kind. I feel very safe here. It's a little sad that I had to leave my country to feel safe, but that will get better eventually.
Okay. Well, here's the thing that on that front is that if you're this kind of a narcissist at heart and you're this like personally self-obsessive, you're going to start to get like this big time overinflated sense of who you are. Like, for instance, you're going to show up at the Golden Globes even though you're not invited. That's something that's interesting that happened. So Dylan Mulvaney went to the Golden Globes and like nobody could find Dylan in the audience. So maybe just like crashed the Golden Globes? We're not exactly sure. Speaking of audiences, this is what the audience looked like when Dylan Mulvaney gave a speech at Penn State. There was no one there. Dylan Mulvaney is all saying like, I had to escape America. But when Dylan Mulvaney goes to a college to speak, nobody shows up.
I'm Dylan Mulvaney. I'm at Penn State. Go Lions! And for our outfit, we've got a bandeau that says state. What's the brand that we love? It's like cute stuff here. Hype and Vice. And then the jacket. And then we've got skirts Aritzia, shoes are Jeffrey Campbell, hair is fake, and I did my own makeup in the car. Okay, I love ya. Bye.
Look at the number of people there. I have seen way more people at the DMV. I've seen way more people in the Chick-fil-A line on a Sunday morning. These are just the drunkards who forgot that Chick-fil-A isn't open. So Dylan Mulvaney saying I have to leave America because so many people are obsessed with me, yet when Dylan Mulvaney gives a public speech inside of a school that has 100,000 people going to it, nobody knows and nobody shows. It's all basically a screaming cry for attention, just like this message to Disney when it came to the recasting of Snow White.
Wow, look at me, I put a show on when I go.
For the gays. I live for the gays. I live for them. I live for the gays. The gays, the gays, the gays. The gays, the gays, the gays make me happy. I don't wanna live for anyone else. Gay, gay, gay. Be gay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So, sorry about that. Didn't mean to destroy your eardrums. Didn't mean to do anything other than give thoughtful, prayerful advice to Dylan, which is you don't have to pal around with horrifying, like deeply terrifying Kathy Griffin. You don't have to do this. ALX saying we've entered the ninth circle of hell. Like, it's a great big world. You don't have to have these kind of headlines. You don't have to do this. Like, you don't have to post this kind of stuff. The unhinged meltdowns, like, if you just realize that the 15 minutes is over, then it wouldn't be a problem. You just move on. Everyone else seems to. Bud Light certainly has moved on, right? But it seems like the only person perpetually stuck in February of 2023 is Dylan Mulvaney. Let Dylan explain.
It's almost over. Says user 9704035144775. I'm just looking at my clock. I think it's been a little longer than 15 minutes, darling. And seeing that I'm slating things out 2 to 3 years from now that will come out in 2 to 3 years, I think it might be a little bit longer. Longest 15 minutes of your life. Love you.
Could we get a wellness check on Dylan? I ask this as a concerned American citizen. For my fellow American citizen. I should get a wellness check. Because this hasn't been a very great path that we've been watching, a deteriorating path quite quickly. And, well, maybe it's time for people who love Dylan to say, you know, it's done. 15 minutes over. Time to go on, do something else. Millions and millions, tens of millions of Americans, myself included in them, will never drink another Bud Light because this is the only thing that we'll think about forever when we see the can of Bud Light. I am joined, of course, by at least, I think it's far more than this, at least 30% of Bud Light drinkers who have just completely abandoned the brand. Bud Light abandoned Dylan Mulvaney, immediately moved on to Travis Kelce. That didn't work. Mr. Pfizer. And so decided on the UFC, which is amazing. And the UFC partnership with Bud Light spawned videos like this from UFC champion Sean Strickland.
So guys, I'm on my way to training, and I just found out Bud Light's a new sponsor. And goddamn, I applaud you guys. I am so proud of you guys for doing the right things after that up. You know how I feel about transgenders. I go hard, just what I do. I'm the biggest advocate of biological females. If I said my views on transgenders, I would get kicked off Instagram. But I could not wait to pick up a big old Bud Light can and fix you, Bud Light, because you guys are doing the right thing. I, Sean Strickland, a representation of the American people, are gonna fix you, Bud Light. Thank you for giving me money. Thank you for supporting my platform. I'm gonna help you guys.
Do you see a little difference between that ad, that Bud Light sponsored ad, and this Bud Light sponsored ad? Times they are a-changing. And so it's best to just be in front of the winds of change instead of behind the winds of change, which is where Bud Light found itself, right? Bud Light thought they were being incredibly progressive by attacking their audience, calling them out of touch and fratty. But in fact, it turns out that it's always in style. It's always in vogue to support your audience, to appreciate your audience, to respect your audience, to listen to your audience and your paying customer, to give them what they want. And so now Bud Light, this Super Bowl, did the exact opposite, the literal opposite of a Dylan Mulvaney ad. They put the guy who walks into the UFC with Donald Trump, Dana White, in their ad, the guy who employs Sean Strickland, the guy who walks in arm in arm with Tucker Carlson and Kid Rock. They put him in their ad, along with a T-Rex and some other celebrities who are certainly not political in the least. This was what Bud Light came up with this Super Bowl. See if you can spot the difference.
Are you?
The Bud Light genie? Yeah. So we get wishes? It's my thing. Gimme.
80s metal hair.
Yes.
Filthy rich.
So filthy. Invisible? Predictable. Giant bicep. Big one.
A sweet ride.
What's next?
Bud Lights? I wish Peyton Manning was my best friend.
Oh.
How we doing?
Hey.
Oh, Post Malone.
Hey.
I'm a genie.
Gemini.
I'm a genie.
Well, look at you.
Nope. I wish I was at that fight.
He's gonna need another bicep. House party.
Definitely.
Let's go!
You wish for a T-Rex.
Guilty.
Let's go to Super Bowl 58.
Now we're talking.
And then during the Super Bowl, they cut to like a Bud Light section where some of the characters from there were the ad were drinking. What do you want from me? I already reviewed that ad. I said, well, much like Sean Strickland, that's an improvement on last year. That is an improvement. That is far more on brand, I think, for your typical Bud Light drinker. And therefore, we're respecting your paying customer. Now, would I ever drink Bud Light again? No. Will they put Donald Trump on it? I mean, let me answer that question, actually. another question. Will they put Donald Trump on a can? Will they apologize and say, wait, we were wrong. We should never have. See, what's interesting is that, like, it's not that I want them to put Donald Trump on a can. It's that I don't want them to play politics at all. You should just make beer. That's the problem, is you played politics. Nobody would have an issue with Bud Light if you hadn't inserted yourself into the culture war. Much like Disney, Target, all the rest of them. And so just don't do that. And that's the lesson, okay? And I think everyone's learning their lesson right now. With the exception, of course, of Dylan, who started it all. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Dylan Mulvaney, unhinged meltdown headlines. Will they continue through 2024? Will any brands ever hire Dylan again? Not if the speeches look like this. I mean, you can see there, like Mulvaney's on stage. That is an empty room. And I think that's about as empty as the business inquiries for Dylan Mulvaney. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe to Right the World. Audiences are right. Customers are right. We, the American people, are right. We march forward to a much better nation. I pray. Please. See ya.